Hi everyone, I'm Mike Gordon. Welcome back to my perfect playthrough of Lemmings for the Sega Genesis. Last time we cleared fun and tricky difficulties. Now it's time to begin taxing. And we already have quite a banger on our hands. I want to turn the first Lemming into a climber. And then have him be a basher for these two obstacles here. And the taxing difficulties, they don't give you a lot of wriggle room to clear these stages. You will tend to see a lot of these stages have very strict item usages. You usually will have or require rescue every Lemming. And they like to come out in droves. So what I want to do, I wanted him to create a bridge that will allow him to turn around and become a miner at the end. So I have to be high enough for the other Lemmings to climb up the ledge, but there has to be a ledge or else the builder won't turn around. Well, that's not the only thing. He can't shrug either. If he shrugs, he won't turn around. And I did that just so I could get this over and done with. And yes, I have to wait for this guy to go through because I have to save every Lemming. I don't know if there's a faster way of doing this, but whatever. Expect a lot of these long stages, drawn out stages. Now I want to start building right beneath the right side of the trapdoor. Alright, now that I've basically allowed the builder to build in peace, I can unleash all the other Lemmings. The downside to unleash all the Lemmings is that it basically causes a ton of lag. Especially if there's like 100 of them. Which is the cap off for these stages. By the way, if you want to know, I forgot to mention this last time in the tricky difficulty, but I figured out how to move between the commands without having to move the cursor down there. What you basically have to do is hold the B button and then press left and right in order to move between the, 8 primary commands. You can also hold the B and press up or down in order to change the frequency of Lemmings that come out. We're going up and down while holding B to change Lemming frequency. Hold B left and right in order to change commands. I still have to move the cursor down if I want to go the nuclear option though. That will nuke every Lemming on the stage, even if I don't have the bomber Lemming ability activated. Alright, I don't have any need to just keep the Lemmings down there until I finish the puzzle, because then this would take way too long. And at this point, there's really no danger to letting the rest of the Lemmings join in on the fun. They can't die. In fact, once I turn my basher into a miner, you have to be sure to turn your basher into a miner. Otherwise, you will have all sorts of problems and you won't be able to clear the stage. That's probably the one danger to bringing all the Lemmings up here early.
So
So I just want to keep track of all the lemmings that are about to play catch up. Because once again, we have to rescue every lemming. And this time we actually had one ability to builder ability to spare. Which is fine. Well, 100 out of 100. Alright, we are once again rescue every lemming. Alright, first thing we want to do, we want to create a builder. And then turn the first builder into a climber. Second lemming becomes a basher. Wait, I got my abilities jumbled up. You turn your first basher into a builder. And then turn the second lemming into a basher. There are no climber abilities at all. And now I've got all my... And now that all my lemmings are safe and secure, I can unleash them all. This musical track also kind of slaps, by the way. Just like the first musical track in the game. Alright, we have to wait for that last lemming. I wonder if that was the first lemming that we helped out, or if it was one of the ones, probably one of the ones that turned around last. But once again, that was all of them. This time we only need to save all 75% of the lemmings, which is fair. However, there is a way to save all of them, so I'm gonna cover that here. Alright, that lemming's gonna be a builder. And I have to be careful with this, and obviously I want to turn the digger around so he doesn't dig a bottomless pit down there. And I'll leave the digger to his own devices. Yeah. And I have to watch it because there are wall traps on the left and right there. You can see them, right? And yes, they will kill you, but there will be certain points, like at the very, very bottom of the traps or at the very, very top, where they won't activate. So you gotta get just right if you want to rescue every lemming on the stage. By the way, it looks like that's all the lemmings that have been rescued. This is gonna be very close. Okay, good. Very, very good. The trap won't activate when I bring all the lemmings in. Alright, good. Absolutely perfect. Now I can allow the rest of my lemmings to rejoin my main builder. Because there's no danger of any of them dying. And keep in mind, they're climbing up that little steel nook. That, by all accounts, probably should trigger the trap. The reason I'm guessing it isn't is because they're actually stepping behind the trap while doing so, which doesn't trigger. Hitboxes with these traps can be pretty wonky sometimes. But you have to figure that out. But you'll have to figure all that out as you play along. But that's how you rescue every lemming. Level 5. This is actually the first level of the taxing difficulty, where we will need to use a blocker. And though there is a way to rescue every lemming, it is insanely difficult. And generally, it's a complete waste of time to try. Just try your best to save all of them. Alright, I basically created a miner, or was it a digger? I don't Man, there is a lot of slowdown. However, the upshot, because there's 60 lemmings just bunched up together like that. The upshot is that these lemmings ain't gonna bother me anymore. Because they're all down there. Because imagine if I was still building and there are lemmings just plopping down. Then I'd be in trouble. Man, so much lag. And we are only halfway done. These stages are definitely getting more difficult. It's a good thing I've spaced these out for weekly episodes rather than just every other day like with Xenogears. Because this game is incredibly hard. But my mom loves this game. So does my dad now I think about it. But I don't think any one of them had ever made it this far. I think they only made it about a dozen or so levels through the fun difficulty stages, or maybe they just play the fun difficulty stages. I don't know of any game that locks you out of beating it unless you play through every single difficulty setting. Maybe Sonic Heroes is the closest thing, actually. Gotta nuke the blockers to end the stage, so... Alright, compression method. Now, what you're supposed to do is bunch all the lemmings together, but I have a better idea. First lemming on the left side turns into Basher, the second lemming starts off as a digger, and then a basher. And you want to get just underneath the pillar so all the other lemmings can join. But there's a trick that allows you to save all the lemmings. This is insanely difficult to pull off. And we'll need all of our basher skills to do it. Alright, so what you're supposed to do, you need to make somebody that's climbing up the top to just... You want to button mash for another basher repeatedly. Until you get to this part where one basher's digging through half bashable, half steel, so all the other lemmings can go through and land and have a safe landing. And it's kind of, you can't just button mash, you kind of have to hope that the lemming is facing the right or you're screwed. And you have to be like on the little corner too. From the lower basher, so they can just dig a little bit above the lower surface, and that's how you save them all. It's confusing. Alright, I want to turn the first lemming here into a builder, and second lemming into a basher. And I don't need to worry about the other builder. All the other lemmings should be fine. And this basher here is going to be our main lemming to help rescue all the other lemmings. However, I'm not going to go unleash all 99 of them yet, because the mighty one can actually... I could get screwed over if any of the lemmings decide to turn around before as they fall. Now this builder, I can only build at the very edge, so I have to wait till he walks a bit before I build again, otherwise the rest of the lemmings will catch up. Yes, we have to rescue every lemming once more. Alright, I think I'm good to unleash all the other lemmings. Alright, good. None of them turn around, so long as I beat the other lemmings to the end, then we should be good. All the lemmings should be rescued. And we don't have to wait so long, either. I want to off-screen as many of these lemmings as possible, because there's a lot of unnecessary lag going on. Alright, now I can move. Yep! Not a lot of lag. Probably rejoin them at around 30. Alright, good. 100 out of 100. Once again, we have to rescue all the lemmings. This one's not too bad. Just turn the first lemming into a floater, second lemming into a digger just underneath the door to the trap hole, through the right side of the trap door, and then unleash all the lemmings so none of them fall to their deaths. Oh yeah, there has to be a wall on the right hand side or they'll just fall to their deaths. I have to turn the digger into a builder, so I could. So they ain't digging endlessly. Rotate between building and bashing here. And now I'm gonna have the rest of my clutter bash their way out of their little hole. I'm definitely gonna be cutting it kinda close here. And with a builder block to spare, so good to know. There you go. That's it. 100 out of 100. We have to rescue all these lemmings too, this time. I actually have a trick. Turn the second lemming into a floater and just dig a hole. Now the second lemming, I turn him into a miner until he's sufficiently low and rotate between digging and bashing until he hits the steel concrete. That'll turn all the other lemmings around. Unfortunately, this is literally all I can do now, is wait until that hole is fully dug. And all the lemmings that decide to head to the right, turn their asses around, head left towards the door. Looks about half and half. Yeah, about half and half. Okay. This stage. Alright, I want to wait till the first lemming turns right here. That will be a builder, and right now I'm totally content with having all these other lemmings join us. We only need to rescue 5 lemmings this time. But this time I decided to only have the last one be, or one of the last ones be a builder. All the rest remain down in that hole until I clear a path for them. And this one's kind of tricky because... But you know what? If he shrugs that, then there's no then he won't turn around. But now I have to bash because he's a little low. By the way, because of this, well, he was a little low, but that was by design. I don't want to worry about having all my other lemmings killed, so now that I've all but assured their safety, I just have to have one last builder, and hopefully, yep, they should all be able to make it. And I turned the builder into a basher so he could join the rest, and that's that for this stage. And I have to rescue all the lemmings here, and there's no blocker. Alright, turn the first lemming into a digger. Second one, obviously I want to make a builder. Yeah. And then I turned the digger into a builder once I dug a sufficient enough hole for them. Now I can unleash all the other lemmings because I've ensured their safety. Well, okay, not really. In all likelihood, you probably don't want to unleash all the lemmings right off the bat, but let's be honest, by the time it'd be safe to go back and try and rescue them, you're either going to be, all the lemmings are probably going to be unleashed anyways, or at least close enough to it that it'd be impossible to distinguish which one's heading left or right. And you basically, now if this builder, so long as he shrugs and there's a sizable enough, and there is a small enough gap that he could just continue on, you're fine. Now that he's a digger, I'm going to try to, this one's kind of tricky because I need to get them to climb out, but we want them to climb to the left. Alright, it took me 2 tries this time. So now I have to turn him into a miner because time is of the essence. By the way, dig too deep a hole and they'll all die. Now I turn the miner into a builder. Now I'm ready to turn him into the builder into a digger soon. If I need to. Guess I didn't really need to, but oh well. Rescue them all. Living on the edge. Now, you can only build a bridge at the very, very edge of each platform because they don't give you a lot of building lemmings builder abilities, or abilities in general. So you have to be very. Looks like all 10 lemmings are out here. And you only need to rescue 8 of the 10 lemmings. Which is good because we need to use both our blockers. I'm just trying to keep track of where I am. And I'll probably go back for the rest later. You know, I think now's like right now. Blow the one on the right first. And it looks like the other 7 lemmings that we need to rescue have basically been combined into one lemming. And they're not causing a lot of lag at all because there's just 7 lemmings left to save. There you go, 80%. Just what we needed. Alright, here's an interesting strat. Turn the first lemming into a blocker, but wait till he's at the very edge. I'll turn this lemming into a climber and a bomber. And now, all the lemmings can climb through those safely, and I don't have to worry about the puzzle. But I have to use the nuclear option now, which is fine. Just lost 2 lemmings along the way and which is exactly what we needed. Alright, this one's a little tricky. First Lemming we turn into a bomber. The second and fourth Lemmings we turn into builders in order to slow down the pace and space the third Lemming out a bit from all the rest. And after that, we use a bomber here, and hopefully he hits that corner, top corner, right? Yep. Now all the other Lemmings can drop down safely. By the way, after the first four Lemmings, after I set the first four Lemmings up like that, it's safe to unleash them all. So, we're at level 15. Alright, first Lemming, blocker. Third Lemming, blocker. And then we turn the second Lemming into a basher once he wakes up here. And then I unleash them all. This is yet another special stage, which I believe is like a Genesis exclusive. But it has come to my knowledge that there is a PSP port that pretty much has all the levels of every version of Lemmings known to man, but updated to with HD graphics, and it works. I don't know if it was PSP or PSP Vita, but yeah. Probably PSP Vita because of the touchscreen, but I don't know anything about the Vita. Alright, I have to keep my eyes on my basher here, because I'm really cutting it close. And by the way, this stage, like all the other special stages, are known for causing a ton of lag and have really long load times, which I completely edit out. Alright, first and second Lemmings are going to be floaters, and the third Lemming will be a blocker. Right here's good. Now I'll ignore the first Lemming and turn him into a builder, just so I could turn his ass around and start having him build this way. I want to pause, and don't be afraid to pause in order to get your bearings. Anyways, I build to the right on the ledge to turn him around. And that's the objective. We want to provide safe spaces for all our other Lemmings to land safely. After all, we only have about 4 parachutes. Now the second builder, his job's done, and he can freely leave the stage. However, I don't quite feel safe blowing up the blocker yet. Alright, I think I'm starting to feel a little confident. Okay. I think that I'm good enough. I don't think the other Lemmings are gonna be able to catch up in time. Then the bridge is falling down. My fair lady. By the way, why is London Bridge a fair lady? What does that have to do with Stoppard? No, that wasn't Stoppard. I forgot his name. Godard, I think? No, yeah, it can't be Stoppard because Stoppard's still alive. So I'm guessing it's like Godard or something. Anyways, that's it for that stage. This one's kind of odd. I need to turn the first one into a blocker. and the second lemming into a climber. I wanted to space out the lemmings so it doesn't take so long, yet their numbers don't cause all kinds of problems. So I'm just leashing them in tens this time. And the second one that was a climber becomes a digger. The purpose of that is to clear out all those doors. Alright, I'm gonna go backwards a bit to an earlier lemming so they can all reach the ledge easier. Fortunately, I still fell a bit short, so I gotta. And I need to be prepared to use floaters while I'm waiting for my main builder to finish the bridge. Anyways, I think I'm safe to unleash them all now. Yes, I am. And once the clutter is close towards the exit, I'm gonna exercise the nuclear option because I have no other way to deal with the the blockers. And I don't know how to end the stage early. It's something to do with A and start at the same time, but I can't get it right for some reason. Besides, I like watching them blow up like that. That's kind of part of the charm, really. Watching the different ways these lemmings die. Alright, first lemming, of course, is the builder, but only once he turns around. And I'm not quite ready to unleash them in droves yet, because I need to blow off a ledge. Alright, now I definitely should do that. Let's unleash the lemmings. Come on. You don't do it. Yeah, okay. I guess I was too conscientious about my main builder lemming and making sure he keeps on his grind because it's very easy to get sidetracked. And the reason why, again, I unleash all the lemmings right away is because I don't want them climbing up the little bridge that I'm building. And only for them to just die in droves. Now, is there a reason why I can't just let them all join my main builder now? Yeah, because it's too high up and they'll die. I guess I could have turned my main builder into a bomber and hope he blows up at that corner, at the far right corner right there. And that will be enough distance to save everybody. You know what, I probably should have done that instead of what I'm doing right now. What I'm doing right now just seems to be too much work. But whatever. But whatever. This is basically the intended method. Turn him into a basher since the block only goes one way. And the worst part is because that Whatever. Oh, right! I don't have any climbers, so that was no problem. And this is the same as before, I have to, except I don't have any blockers, so I have to time my explosives as flawlessly as I can in order to keep my losses to a minimum. Alright, I'm gonna turn one, yep, when he's turning to the left. How do I do this? Okay. Definitely towards the left. That was close. But I need to go have them face the right now. I want to avoid the flames as much as possible. Okay. Right there sounds good. Again, don't be in this one, it doesn't matter. I just blow up the first one as soon as possible. And now I can unleash all the other lemmings, though. To be fair, there aren't a whole lot of them left. And by the way, it is impossible to get 91% exactly in this stage, so the true minimum is 92%. That means you can't let a single lemming go into the flames. Once again, we have to save them all here. Okay. So the trick with this stage, you want to start off at max clutter. Just to get them over and done with. And then when you get around 80 of these lemmings left, you reduce it back down to 90 instead of 99. That way there will be a couple lemmings left that have been spaced out. This is important. Especially for the last two lemmings. And of course we have 3 lemmings spaced out. Second to last lemming becomes my builder, and then the last lemming falls down the other hole to the right. And he will be by himself, by the way. This makes it a lot easier to manipulate his movements. But right now, we're just gonna use one main build lemming to do everything. And once we're in the clear on that, we will move on to the last lemming, who will then help out. After all, we have to rescue all of them, and we're not given a lot of time to do it. Alright, I'm going to try to speed this up as much as possible, so I'm giving him the flitter last second so he doesn't die. Alright, now I give the last lemming the minor ability so he could free all the other lemmings, while providing them with passageway, and of course, my main lemming turns into a basher. And yep, we have to wait to rescue all of them. All 85 of them. That's the last one. 100 out of 100. Feel the heat. What do you think you are, Hades? Alright, turn the first and fourth lemming into builders. No, not the fourth lemming, the fifth lemming. I think I meant to turn the fourth lemming into one, but I missed, so I went with the fifth lemming instead. And the first lemming, of course, is our builder. All we want to do is try to grant the rest of our Lemmings safe passageway into the exit, which, of course, is surrounded by 2 flamethrowers. With only a very narrow window for these Lemmings to land safely and reach the exit. And then I turned the builder into a basher so I could save them all. Alright, this is another save them all stage, so many of them in taxing. First Lemming is a digger, second, and then as well as a floater. And I basically turn a bunch of these Lemmings into builders. And then I turn the one that's the furthest away into a digger and then a miner. This allows me to save all the Lemmings safely. To get them all down here. I mean, previously I just took the long way there and used a bunch of blockers to do it. But now, King of the Castle. And this time we don't have blockers. Or bombers. Well, I don't think we had blocks, so we just have to use our climbers wisely. And unfortunately, we're gonna have to let some of these Lemmings die. Alright, come on, let's get these Lemmings up here to actually build something up there. And you're basically not given much margin for error. This is basically how the developers intend for you to clear this stage. With the only caveat being that I don't think they intend for us to phase through these platforms, but But because of the whole sequence breaking thing is pretty arduous and, dare I say, highly subjective here, because there are some stages that require you to do something like this. So I don't consider this cheating. I think I'm in a safe place for me to start unleashing all the Lemmings now. But I'm running low on builder Lemmings. Come on, heart of the cards. Alright. We have to wait for these last couple nincompoops to turn their asses around. Alright, there isn't so much lag anymore, because almost all of them are inside. I hope I don't see this stage again. I don't know anything beyond Mayhem, by the way. I only play a little bit of Mayhem, but I've never seen Present or Sunsoft difficulties. Alright. This is another save 'em all one. Gonna turn my first Lemming into a climber. I want to turn him into a builder right about where I did. And same goes for the one of the last Lemmings facing the right at that spot. That one's very tricky to gauge, by the way. Turn them into diggers. You gotta wait until, because you want to make sure they dig through this entire pillar. And then so in very specific spots, or else you won't be able to clear the stage. And I also have to time when to turn them into builders just right. Because this is another one of those stages that gives that just gives you just enough abilities to clear the stage with. So this one's quite hard. I don't want the second builder to turn around, otherwise we'd have to be here a while. And this is about as fast as you can clear this stage, by the way. Timing has to be absolutely perfect, though, in order to make this work. Alright, I'm gonna turn my first Lemming into a floater and a climber. Second Lemming will be a builder. And then I want to turn my first Lemming into a builder soon as well, but for different reasons. We want to circumvent this trap hole here. Turn this Lemming into a blocker, and the second Lemming here becomes another builder. Now I can unleash the Lemmings. Yeah, I have to circumvent the 10-ton trap right there. That's why I turn him into a builder. Turn this Lemming into a builder. And this Lemming's a climber already, so we're good on that. But we'll need to turn him into a builder very soon as well, because we want him to turn his ass around. Remember, because he's a climber, he's an overall athlete. Now I can nuke the blocker here because all the other Lemmings are absolutely safe. And you don't want to do it at the very edge, but rather as close to the tippy top of that last log. And the reason being is because we want to be able to... When we use the basher ability, we want to be able to save all the other Lemmings. This stage requires us to have only one casualty in the whole stage, and that was the blocker that we turned into a bomber. Alright, this clutter is basically going to go through all in one go. %70% of them are in. And now we just wait for these Lemmings to be rescued, and we will be done with this stage. And this next stage is probably the toughest one of the bunch, and that's Triple Trouble. Alright. This one, this first Lemming here has to turn into a digger, and the second one into a climber. But you have to time when he becomes a climber to when he turns around, and then turn him into a digger, and that's going to be our lone casualty of this stage. I want one Lemming on the right side to turn into a climber, and then a builder. And I'm not going to max out, and honestly, why I didn't think to try to get the Lemmings on the right hand side out now, I have no idea. But yeah, I only have one casualty, which is all we can afford. And the purpose of the digger right there is literally so we could save all these other Lemmings. I've had all kinds of problems trying to save the Lemmings on the left-hand side in the past, so this is basically the best I can think of to save them all. I know there's theoretically a way to save them all, but it ain't worth it. What's interesting is that there are so many Lemmings on the right-hand side. Not building a bridge on the right-hand side earlier than I did is basically, well, I can't believe I did. I could have completely screwed myself over doing what I did. And the athlete can't climb up the pillar for some reason. Anyways, we saved close to all of them. Alright. We want to turn the first Lemming up there into a basher. And now we can unleash the Lemmings. And the very last Lemming, if possible, we turn into a miner. That Lemming will pretty much do all the work. And what is keeping the Lemmings down there, moving left and right? Well, apparently if there's a sign pointing in another direction, the Lemmings will respond to that sign and turn around. That's basically it. It's kind of funny how the only thing that will stop a Lemming dead in its tracks are walls, blockers, and signs. Anyways, I don't think the rest of my Lemmings are in any more danger, so I'm free to start turning them into putting a basher there on the left side so they can rejoin. Even so, I decided to give my main Lemming another builder, just to be safe. And all the others will join my main Lemming pretty much at the nick of time. Now I have to time the nuclear option just right, or else I will end up nuking a few Lemmings unnecessarily. Right now. Right as they were heading on the last log, the last batch. %. 98%. Alright, and even though I think you're required to save all the Lemmings here, but here's how I do it. Turn the first Lemming into a miner, and then I turn his ass around by having him be a builder. And I only let one main builder up there building. And I have to do the same thing on the left hand side because we want to keep all the Lemmings down there until it's safe to save them all. Alright, I'll worry about that little gap on the wall, on the pillar, later. Right now I'm gonna start saving the other Lemmings. There's only 30 of them to rescue this time, but I think it's required for us to save them all. Alright, he turned his ass around, so I need to turn everyone else around. Because they would have fell to their deaths if I wasn't careful. And I just added more salt to the wound, just to ensure the safety of all my Lemmings. Whew. Alright, just 2 more left to go. Oh, I could have had some casualties there. Oh well. Now there is a way to save all the Lemmings here, so turn the first Lemming into a digger straight away, and the second Lemming into a floater. and an overall athlete as well. Now, at some point while this lemming's building at the very edge of that log, I turn my digger into a basher here, so that the remaining lemmings that I'm trying to save don't fall to their deaths, and then I turn them into a digger again. And I have to have this guy build bridges at the very edge of the screen constantly. Timing has to be absolutely perfect if you wish to rescue every lemming. I think this stage allows a couple casualties, because they don't expect you to save them all. But this is the best I can do. He shrugs, so he's got to climb up. Instead of turning around, he's got to shrug and climb up. I have to turn him into a digger, let him dig a decent enough hole, then make him into a builder, so I could turn his ass around and make him into a miner. And if he's too low, I'll turn him into a basher instead. If he's too high, he'll be a digger. I have plenty of those. Still too early to tell, so I'm just gonna keep him on mining duties. So now I'm gonna try, because I went through all this effort, I'm gonna try and save everybody. And they all climbed up that ledge, so that means we're all free to go. And the last stage of taxing difficulty is the same thing as the first stage of the tricky difficulty. So I'm gonna use the same dig trick I did last time in order to rescue all the lemmings with very little effort. So first I'm gonna make sure he's up close to the edge, and then I do the same thing with the second lemming. This creates a little tiny nook for them to fall on top of to break their fall a little, so they can all reach the exit safely. And that's it for the taxing difficulties here. So if you like what you see here, please leave a like, comment, subscribe to my channel. I greatly appreciate it. Next time we're taking on the mayhem difficulty. So with all that said, I believe that's it for today. This is Mike Gordon, sign out.